Hello, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. We all know what time it is. It's time to
relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
All right, that's right. It's time for Syntext Live. I hope you guys are doing good. And wow, somebody is starting us off with a freaking boom. Because I'm sitting there and I see red and I'm going, as soon as this will work. Oh, you pain in the. Sorry, guys. My thing stopped. Didn't want to work. It's supposed to be saying, hold up a second, because I see red, and this time in a good way. We got Chris, who's over here, our wonderful Prozac and pancakes.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something right.
I swear the delay on this, guys, I wasn't even touching it. And he decided to drop 2 bills on us and saying, I'm in legal paperwork hell, but it's worth it. Dude, if you're flipping money like this, I guarantee you're earning better than most out there. And thank you so much, my friend. I'm going to pop a top right now, and I'm going to toss you a salute. Thank you very much, you bad motherfucker. And I hope everybody is doing well. And thank you again, Chris. And we are going to get started. So let's do this the right way. I swear to God, this thing it's not working right. I don't know what's going on with my system right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me good. And I'm just waiting for this thing to catch up, you bitch. Sometimes I hate technology. Don't you guys hate technology? There we go.
Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Yeah, we had to go through that first minute anyway so people can get through the advertisements they don't pay me for. But somebody is definitely, holy shit. Again, thank you, my friend. I very much appreciate it. And hopefully you get down to writing some more, because all the fans enjoyed your series. Everybody who's a fan and is here for the live stream, they enjoyed your series. I know they did. I know because I enjoyed it, and I was snickering the whole goddamn time. So let's get into the comment section down here. And I seriously, every time I see them, I'm like, wow, dude. Anyways, I want to say I'm actually surprised and grateful that some people are looking into some of the old stuff. If one of the biggest ones I had was, if a human brings a knife to a gunfight, run. And that was the first time I actually did characters and conversations, and it went over really well. And I'm glad somebody, I won't mention who, Brian, I guess you guys enjoyed it, and I'm glad you did. By all means, if you guys are fairly new to the channel, I've got 300 plus videos you can go through. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and it's finally getting to the point where it's difficult to find something I haven't done yet. What I'm not going to do is ever get on ChatGPT and just look up, what are they doing? Okay, adjust one factor, send, and then I'll read. No, we don't do that here. I feel like the guy from Black Panther. We don't do that here, with that thick French accent of his. So, most everything that's been coming is the continuation of Garbage Day. And by the way, when it was actually there on the title, not only on the thumbnail, but also mentioned during the story, that was from you guys. I didn't even think about that, and I feel like a moron for not thinking of it. But yes, that was from a fan comment, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I got to use it. I just got to, because you guys are great. Okay, no one person can think of everything. And I was just like, I don't have the right button for it, but I was just like, oh, idiot. So thank you for that. By the way, in the comment section, if you guys are here, I see one of them is here. Yes, Mr. Lord's War Sniper. I hope you enjoyed the brownies you and Erica were talking about, because that filled up like an entire screen as I'm going down the comment section. I wonder what type of brownies they might be. Okay. Also, somebody said when I did the whole
ejecting pilot
with Soundwave in the back, I did try to, when you mentioned that, I'm going to try and put the whole ejecting ones I use and try to match the actual picture up to them. I'm looking for other ejection ones. I really want the ones from Top Gun where he's like, eject, 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 because that's actually the way you're supposed to do it. So you say it 3 times, just like you say Mayday 3 times over the radio. That's a common pilot thing, which I had to learn from an actual pilot. So, but yes, I will be doing as much as I can. You guys notice I haven't been using as many of the sound effects because I am. This is a busy season, guys. Planting season is always busy. I got to spend tomorrow putting in fence posts. Yay, fun. But I'm going to get over what's going on tonight. And by the way, yes, if you're looking on the screen, yes, that is exactly what it looks like. That's the next chapter. It's already done. It's already recorded. So I don't think you all guys got the joke. But I do hope it made you laugh when Bill and Aya were talking, and Aya's like, "That girl's in more serious need of a muff dive than any white chick in history." That is almost a direct quote from Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. And it was I was too young when I first watched that movie to actually get what the hell that meant. Later on, I'm laughing so hard I almost farted. I mean, it's just. I have used it more than once against somebody that I was working with, and unfortunately, it's been used against me at least once. But the point is still there. And yes, it was meant to be a dirty joke, but let's face it, you're living for several hundred years, and all you're doing is the same thing, shipping stuff back and forth. You're going to want some sort of dopamine hit. Well, you got your hot android right there who can change her android body to whatever the fuck you feel like. Of course you're gonna, do that sort of thing. But then again, you got people who are just solid business. I need more money. I need more resources. I need more and more. You just learn to relax and enjoy life for a second. Anyway, on part 13, when I mentioned how the crew species were not biological, they were created. I mean, they're basically clones. And yes, that's why I used the clone of the background, and that is exactly why I called it Camino. They were even mentioned in the beginning. The first time you deal with them, they were a created species, not discovered, created. So, yeah, that's why I use that. If I didn't say it good enough, I do apologize. So, somebody said that this series is also turning into like the Turret series. Hopefully it gets as popular, but the numbers are the numbers, and I can't change that. The Turret series was one of the biggest ones I had. If you guys haven't seen it, that's when I was just getting started, so the audio quality is definitely not there. Let's see, mention Camino. Oh, somebody brought up the whole idea of antimatter, and that's why I used it as charges, as like a, how do I put this? As a Trojan horse when they were taking out the harvesters, because antimatter is a bit unstable. By today's standard, it is very unstable. It's actually almost impossible to keep antimatter contained without it degrading into nothing and exploding at the same time. Exploding, imploding, and then going into another dimension all at once. It's just crazy, crazy stuff. I had a lot of salt in my diet today, so I'm going to be chugging a lot of this soda. Anyways, but yes, you were right. Antimatter explosives are very dangerous. Okay, they make nukes look like a matchstick striking. I mean, it's just crazy. All right, on part 14, the only thing that anybody really was talking about is, I can't do that, Dave. Dave, yes, Hal 9000. I can't mimic the voice. I tried to download it. You'd be amazed how difficult it is to actually download anything he says without having to pay at least $10 to $20 for one soundbite. That may or may not download. They're going to charge you anyway. I've had that happen a couple times already. And I just sit there and I'm kind of waiting for my sound effect to actually kick in. You son of a, wow. It was working so well last week. I don't know what the hell's up with this soundboard, but it doesn't want to operate correctly this time. I don't know what's going on with it. It's all sorts of messed up. And there it goes. I don't know why it's a delay. I really don't know. But yeah, hopefully that worked, you guys. I just wanted to. Everybody was saying, how come you're using only female androids? Like I used, what was it? I used text, but I didn't use church from the Red and Blue series because all the AI at that point were always referred to by humans as female, so they adopted that persona to work with their new. I don't want to say masters, but yeah. So yeah, that's the only reason why. And I figured using church would be a little too on the nose, especially since Cortana wasn't there, or not Cortana, with text wasn't there. It is what it is. So also, yes, I had to put through the translator the whole "prepare you animals" quote somebody sent. That was in, I have no idea what language. Sorry, I only speak 3 languages. You guys know that: English, bad English, and infantry. That's about it. So since you guys are on the live stream, and that's pretty much it for the notes. The notes were pretty quick. Most everybody trying to chime in where the syntax was. One of them was kind of hidden. Yeah, I did that specifically because sometimes you guys are so fast on that. I barely get it posted, and all of a sudden, bam! I get the message. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Give it like 3 seconds. But hey, it is what it is. I appreciate you guys watching. But by the way, number 15, just to let you guys know, and you will be the first ones to know, this is going to be the last chapter to this series, at least for a long time. Okay, I've pushed it pretty much as far as I can go without going into like ridiculousness of Harry Potter times 40K times the new battle tech, which by the way we're going to talk about. And just I didn't want it to get dumb, guys. I wanted to keep it within its realm. Because as you know, you lose consistency and then people stop giving a shit. So I put on my notes here. I wanted to break this down as a writer style because a lot of you actually do want to write. You're learning how to, you're practicing and stuff like that. I want you to keep this in mind. When you are doing something as big as like multiple planets, multiple systems, which as you guys know is considered a space opera, which I think is kind of a silly name. You got to make sure you have notes. You see that pile of papers over my shoulder, over right behind my hand there? That's, oh, fuck it. I'll just grab it. Hold on. This is the freaking series. That's about 1.5 inches thick of papers right there. This has been this entire series right there. Notes and all. All right. You have to keep your notes around and make sure you're following everything. Who has what sector, what their fighting style is, what their social style is. And what do I see over there? Yes, I see you, MTF Guard, with a $10 super chat. And let me write this down, MTF Guard. Okay. And he says, hey-o, and yay. I ended up having to work today, but good news. I guess Saturday off. Hey, that's always good news. Saturday off is always good. The only bad part about having Saturday off is going to the movies is a real bitch. I actually tried to take my dad to the movies today, and I screwed up the times because the movie theater constantly changed the times per day, which I think is ridiculous. But hey, I don't run the theater. So we were going to go watch Warfare, and I wanted to see if it's as good as the reviewers say it was. So, but thank you, Guard. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. And I, again, appreciate everybody else here. And by the way, if you guys want to see me the way I was doing shots for every super chat, you're going to have to be the ones to send me stuff. You know, as I don't think I remember to put it in the Meat Gazer box down there this time. I'm bad at that, guys. I'm sorry. But usually inside the videos, I'll have it in the description. And there will be an actual P.O. box there. Excuse me. But anyways, I want to still go down with this writing style on this. If you end up with an entire wall of notes, good. Keep with your consistency. Just like honestly, without looking into my notes, I don't know which one it is. It's not the Y sector. I think it was Alpha Centauri. They're very, very, very Spartan. Like that's their whole thing is they are all about the military way of working. But because of that, they're also very dangerous in small groups. And it showed as they were interlocking their shields, which is how they got there. Again, you're mixing the culture with the area. But I mentioned they were very Spartanistic before. That's why I could use it again. If you're going to use multiple areas and not just follow one person, you need to do this. If you don't do it, it sounds ridiculous. And then you have wonderful people like everybody who's watching me telling you you're a dumbass. You don't want to do that. You don't want to screw that up. Because if you do, mess it up, then, you got some people trying to talk crap about you, and then they're going to say something straight to your face, which would be going off right now if my fucking soundboard would work right. I still don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. So anyway, just keep that in mind. Anybody who's going to...
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I swear that delay is killing me. All right. So just keep that in mind. Keep your notes ready unless you're following one person and you're in one situation. If you're dealing with two cultures, be ready to have a slight conflict in there. And yeah, make sure you address that. However, you can omit a lot of that by one person being extremely professional or being extremely polite. You could get away with a lot of shit being extremely polite. So, let's see. Want to remind everybody that starting for next month, it is one-off story time. Series are going to be put on hiatus. And that's hopefully going to add to the subscription counts. I've been just below 9,000 now for well over 2 weeks. Just kind of hobbling there. And everybody I know is bleeding subscribers, but I'm grateful for everybody being here. But again, news stories, one-offs, anywhere from maybe 10 minutes to 20 minutes long. That's going to be my area. No, I don't think I'll be doing anything super long, but the bonus on that is if I'm able to get a shorter story, that means I'll have more time to work in sound effects, which will enhance the story. If there's any type of sound effects you guys think I should be looking for in particular, let me know. I have actually tried to look for the Star Trek actual phaser cannon. Wow, can't find it. It's nowhere. Not unless, again, I want to pay out the nose for it. And it's not worth it. I'll find something else. Let's see. I mentioned that house, it's beginning planting season. It's going to get very, very busy around here. And we got the new chickens coming too. Let's see. Going down. Okay. That ends up that parts of the notes. Now I want to go into, and you guys have seen this. I'm going to be going into a bit of the pop culture, what's been coming out in media. Primarily what is coming out in movies and what is going to come out. But not only that, we're going to talk about a couple of the shows. Now, as we all know, Snow Yellow has been a complete and total flop. And if you have not been living under a rock, you know that Zegler has been sitting there, oh, poor me. Poor me. I just decided to get into politics, and now they're giving me shit for being in politics. Well, no kidding. Duh, you're in the public eye. You shut up, do your job, and go the fuck away. If you sit there and say anything, it's going to be used against you. And she said a lot of things against her. Now everybody's going after her for being such a schmuck. It is what it is. All I can say is, wah, you want to be an actor, this is what happens. Cry me a river, build a bridge, get over yourself, and drive the hell on. If you're not willing to do that, well, then I got nothing for you. All right. If you guys haven't seen, things are turning against the new Fantastic Four that's coming out. Now, I'm not going to say it's because Pablo, whatever the fuck his name, just because he looks like he's just exhausted. I mean, it's a good thing I'm wearing glasses because I am freaking spent today. I've been running around like a jackass, getting this done and everything else done. I had to help my dad all morning. It was just a long, long day. So, and it started at about 3:30 in the morning. Yay! But everybody's turning against it because they're putting identity politics in it. And I'm not just talking about the Silver Surfer with a vagina. No, the Silver Surfer didn't have any genitalia anyway. Never did when you knew them. Before they became the Silver Surfer, they were just a bald guy. Now they're, well, I don't even know what the hell you'd classify him as. A bullet? You know, he's riding trigger or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is Johnny Storm's supposed to be a playboy, not some timid little, oh boy, where's my boyfriend to help me out and hold my hand? No, that's not been the character. Sue Storm is always been a background, or not a background character, a secondary to her husband, just because he's really, really smart and usually runs the team. Not because, and she shouldn't be wanting to be up in front just for having a domineering attitude. This is what they're trying to push now. It doesn't fit the established narrative, the actual characters. If there's preset characters, they got to just leave them the hell alone. Just leave them alone. Do it right. They finally made the Thing look like the fucking Thing. And now the Thing's supposed to be, I don't know, made of rubber or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with this shit. It just, I don't know. He doesn't sound like it. He doesn't move like it. I don't know what's going on, but the identity politics crap has got to go the fuck away. But it makes sense why it's in there. Because these movies need to be done years in advance. The initial concept is done about 5 years in. Then there's the scripting of it. Then you have the rewrites constantly because you have the producers up the writer's ass turning them into a friggin' sock puppet. And then back and forth that goes. Then you got to do your storyboards. Then you got to bring the actors in. You got to do the casting. You got to get all the costumes and everything ready for that. Get all that shit ready. Before you even start filming, you've done years worth of work. And because of that, as we all know, a few years back, everybody was steeped in identity politics. And it's just coming out in all our freaking media now. It's going to take a couple of years before it is gone. Now, granted, all the live action remakes for freaking Disney have been cut, clean, stopped right there. Full, pull the air brake, pull the e-brake, eject out of that motherfucker, because nobody actually wants it. They're just, I'm looking for the right type of thing to hit.
Ejecting pilot.
They're out. They're gone. Although I kind of wish somebody was Kathleen Kennedy, and then we'd actually be able to actually do things right. So, yeah, it's the Fantastic Four is done. Now, on the bright side, everybody who does reviews on Star Wars, now I can't stand Star Wars. I can't. It's dead to me. They have destroyed every good character they could get a hold of. Especially Ahsoka. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Ahsoka. I enjoyed watching that character evolve, and they took a giant, juicy, smelly, diseased turd right on that character. It's just messed up. But apparently Andor was done pretty good. Every reviewer says Andor's done. They're keeping it close to the chest now. So if they can pull that franchise up by its bootstraps and actually save it, hats off to them. I hope they do, because it's a shame something I used to enjoy as a kid, now I can't stand. I'd hate for another generation to think that way. However, you look at the sequels, the 3 sequels, they just released friggin' the prequels, and everyone's going to see the prequels and spending more money watching the fucking prequels. The prequels were horrible, and yet people are spending a whole lot more money to watch them. What the fuck is going on? My brain hurts. My brain hurts. They even brought Samuel L. Jackson and what is his name, Christensen, out there to talk in front of the crowds before a couple of showings. I'm like, okay, first off, Jackson looks like hell. His body is falling apart. He shouldn't be out there doing that. He should be sticking with voiceovers and be done with it. But I appreciate that he's out there. I really do. But seriously, how can they do so well with something that sucks so bad? Oh, wait, the newer stuff sucks even harder. It sucks and blows. Oh, what am I seeing here? Erica, you crazy minx. And she sent a $10 super chat saying, sorry, I'm late. You're fine, Erica. We're good. And by the way, I hope you enjoyed the brownies. I saw you and a certain other person, War Sniper, talking about that in the comment section. We went over that earlier. But anyway, I hope it comes out with Andor. I hope it helps them. Unfortunately, another series that is beyond saving. You know, Doctor Who gives a shit at this point. You know, they've canceled the series. They're not actually planning on making any more that I've come across. I've never been a huge fan of Doctor Who. That's just me. However, I can understand that people enjoy the series. And it kept going until somebody brought identity politics in it. And you just want to take identity politics, put it up against the wall, and, you know, do something horrible to it. And for some reason, my soundboard just kind of took a shit on me again. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. I hate doing that. Anyway, hopefully it kicks in a couple of seconds. We'll see what's going on. There it is. Oh, I'm hit. Okay. But yeah, Doctor Who's dead. I'm sorry, guys, but there's no recovering it. I've known people who've been fans, and they're older than me, and they'll never watch Doctor Who again. They have the same idea of Doctor Who as I do against Star Wars. They'll never, unless somebody actually says, yeah, I'll buy the beer, come and sit down, then maybe. So, the new Tomb Raider movie / project has been totally dismantled because of, once again, they were going to do identity politics, and somebody realized that is a freaking bad idea, and they already spent some money on it, but it's not anywhere close to what they would lose. And I enjoyed, now I never played the Tomb Raider games. When they came out, I was in college or late high school, and I just sat and watched people play them. And every once in a while, I was like, hey, isn't that one of those things off to the right or to the left or whatever? Don't you have to pull that? And a lot of times, we're like, oh, shit, I missed it. Thanks. And then we're figuring it out together, all the puzzles and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, how can you screw that up? Well, they do. They bring politics in and it dies. But thankfully, this one was killed off in its infancy, so I don't have too much to say. What I do have to say about, guys, unfortunately, I'm a huge Battletech fan. I love Battletech. I love MechWarrior. They are in the hands of some of the biggest fruit baskets I've ever seen in my life. They actually have, no kidding, MechWarrior Gothic. They're trying to actually incorporate 40K into Battletech. I mean, for that one, all I can say is,
congratulations, you played yourself.
What were they thinking? I mean, serious, what are they thinking? You cannot incorporate 40K into Battletech or Battletech into 40K. They are way too different. I've barely looked into 40K and I realized it shit don't work. One of the main things in Battletech is there's only one other sentient species in the entire known universe. And their planet is so difficult to reach. It's about a 50-50 chance you're going to die just getting there. Okay, they're very, very isolated. So they're not really a thing. They're talked about, but they're not any type of avenging army. They're not anything like that. It's just people versus people, different cultures, different planets. That works. 40K took that concept and added what? A dozen different species with a dozen different cultures, a dozen different friggin' biomes for each one, or biologies for each one. And I'm just like, what I did? All I can say is, now that these guys got a hold of Battletech, all you can say is,
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
They fucked up big. It's so bad. It is so bad. They, unfortunately, They still own the license, but what the hell is going on with that? Seriously, take this away from the freaking JV squad, because the JV squad is actually owned or controlled by basically one kid's dad, making the worst player on the team the quarterback. So you're definitely going to lose. That's what's happening. They did just. It wouldn't matter how good the gameplay is if the storyline is so bad that you don't actually want to play it. When I play the actual online BattleTech game, I usually skip through that first storyline with, Senora Chalupa or whatever the fuck her name is? Oh, Heina, whatever, kiss my butticus. I don't know what the fuck her name is. I don't care. Her mech could blow up in a huge atomic explosion. I'd be sitting there going, whatever, as long as I get paid. Who gives a shit? But seriously, it's they got to keep the freaking identity politics out. They got to. And just give us a good BattleTech game. There is so much lore to work with. It's nuts. This is why I don't make 40K stuff, because I cannot manage the lore of 40K because I'm not a huge 40K fan. So what the hell, man? I mean, granted, a few of the species in 40K will make you go, swing, but that's beside the point. I mean, have you seen Canopus girls? Have you ever seen how they're drawn? Yeah, that's what you're going to do. By the way, if I think Erica and any other ladies watching, if you're not into BattleTech, keep this in mind. Canopus is entirely female run. And I'm going to mispronounce this. The magistery of they try to call it the magistry and magic. I can't even put it. It's always mispronounced, but it's always run by that. So, and they have a very big emphasis on the way everybody looks like. If you're not attractive, you're not in the politics. They'll vote you out. So keep that one in mind. Anyways, not only MechWarrior, but BattleTech is taking a side seat. Apparently, Microshaft is friggin' getting a hold of BattleTech. And they're going to do a bad job. You know they're going to do a bad job. Everybody knows they're going to do a bad job. They suck. I just, you know what? I don't even want to talk about it anymore. They piss me off. Last thing before we go into the chat box, we're going to talk about the whole Superman debacle. Apparently, the whole idea of putting 1,000 monkeys into a room and they'll make Shakespeare is now the whole focus of the Superman movie, where he's upset about social media talking bad about him, and it turns out it's Lex Luthor with like 10,000 monkeys behind computers just punching numbers. What? Just, I mean, what? And all I can say, I mean, for these guys is just
congratulations, you played yourself.
I love that button because it's so accurate. All right. That's it for my notes, folks. And that took us about 30 minutes to get through. I'd like to send out special thanks to our Prozac and Pancakes, MTF Garden, Erica Gem, you for supporting the channel. By the way, Lakeen, if you're in here and you're listening, yes, you are getting your shout outs for the week. I did not forget you. He sent them off the stream, so it is what it is. And now let me actually scroll up here. And seems apparently a few people are dealing with rainstorms. Hopefully that's not going to screw up the stream any. As you can see behind me, we got sun. There's barely any clouds in the sky right now, so the stream will go on fine unless YouTube gets a wild hair along with a dead bug up their ass. Maybe it's up there with a rat that they shoved up there too. I don't know. But yeah. Oh.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right, because we got a Joseph Blouch is here again with his $5 super sticker. Thank you very much, Joseph. You're gonna have to brains. Does that mean you want zombies? Oh shit. Okay, you guys are gonna make me write even more. I'm good. Okay, we got someone who's demonic here. I gotta find some more demon memes for you with your woot on there with the controller. Woot woot. Is that like hoot hoot to get in the owls and stuff like that? Anyway, thank you very much, Demon and Joseph. I very much appreciate it. You guys know I'm not going to ask, but I'm not going to turn it down either. So, and let me again scroll up here towards the top a little bit so I can make sure I don't miss anybody. Let's see, that was with the rainstorms. Okay, now we're where we're supposed to be. Doug says it's been blowing and going here in Oklahoma. Fun. I think according to the weather, parts of the highway were shut down for flooding. That's not good. Yeah, we're due for some really fucked up weather here, folks. And some of it, I don't know if they're right. I don't know if they're wrong, but yeah, apparently we're due for a solar twisty up the face. You know, catch you right in the jaw type situation. So make sure you're prepared for whatever your area might throw at you. If you're going to experience heavy rains, if you're going to get high winds, whatever it might be. See, oh yeah, there's Guardians with his greeting, mortals and other assorted beings. Speaking of assorted beings, I thought it was absolutely hysterical. Some guy, I don't know how the hell he found me, probably actually watches the stream or something, asked me to do commission work. I was like, well, it's going to be kind of expensive. How much you want to pay on it? He's like, well, nothing over $10. I'm like, dude, for $10, I can just do what I do. You know, it's actually kind of expensive because for that, I have to focus everything on it for a couple of days. Commissioned work is usually fairly expensive for good reason. Let's see. Everyone's checking in. The sound box is low. Is it too low, guys? I'll turn that up. I just don't want it to blow out my eardrums. You know, I'll move it a little closer to the TV there. That way, maybe it'll catch it. Tell you what, does this help? Is that hopefully that's loud enough? Okay. Let's see. Guardian says, I just finished watching and commenting on your last video of Garbage Planet right before the live stream started. Hey, that's always good. And my throat is dry again. 1 second. War Sniper, to be honest, she made me a bit mad. Like, what the hell is going on with you, woman? And refers to Erica. Well, she knows how to sling it. You know, she can sling it apparently with the best of us. You know, I haven't seen Ava around because you know she'll hurt you too. So, anyways, Guardian, yay, more Garbage Planet. Unfortunately, that's probably going to be the last chapter for the next month. Yes, it is. I mentioned that before. Let's see. Douglas said, do you use automatic fence post driver or manual type that tears the heck out of your back muscles? It's got to go manual. Unfortunately, the tractor is not mine, so I can't just put on a PhD post hole digger and just start dropping it into the ground. Not to mention, I don't have the right auger for it, so it is what it is. War Sniper says, also, for some reason, I had to send my messages 2 times to get it sent. Really? Guardian says, I watched the turrets as a compilation, not the individual episodes. Yep. And he says, still loved it. Oh, that's always good. I appreciate when people like my stuff. Let's see. War Sniper continues. Sin, we know the wife of the MC of Garbage Planet is not from flesh and blood, but how did they make their daughter? Did I miss something in the story that explained? Okay. I kind of had to apologize last week on this same exact issue. I didn't stress it because I didn't go through them actually be born. They took his DNA. She tweaked it a little bit since she's not human, and they adjusted things. Like I said, they're not green. She didn't change the pigment in their skin. She changed things like the hair color, make sure they're taller. Their daughter Cindy, she's more curvaceous that way. She tweaked it. That's why they're the twins, because they're actually from the same genetic code. She just worked with his DNA and adjusted it. She didn't actually add too much. But they're raised in tubes, and while they're being in tubes, I'm sure she would do something to it to make sure that the gestation was done right, some sort of frequency, talking to them and all this other fun stuff. And then, they get flushed out and cleaned off and start off as infants, and then they grow them the rest of the way. That's the way that was supposed to work. I didn't go into a lot of it because I figured you guys had enough of that when I did Ambush Predators. When a certain Greknar comes sliding out. But it's sometimes I forget to do things, guys. I do apologize for that. But yes, they were test tube children, quite literally. They were in a big old tube, and they're born that way and raised from there. Chris says, sorry, I'm mostly listening today. I've got literally the entire Harry Potter series to read through, but all legal stuff. Holy shit. Dude, my brain would melt if I had to go through all that stuff. Oy. I got nothing. I don't mess with lawyers, man. It's like the Joker talking about the IRS. I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS, no, thank you. Okay, Guard says, I tried watching the Minecraft movie over by Florence and stuff, only to find out the theater had been closed because the damn chicken jockey scene somehow that started a 17-man brawl. I still don't get the chicken jockey thing. I really don't know. All I know is people decided to use it as an excuse to do some stupid shit. And this is what happens. It only takes a few people to ruin it. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate, Guard, but it's what happens. Guardian says, been over a year since you went to see a movie in the theaters. Yeah, I could understand that. It's the movies don't have the pull they used to. I mean, pretty soon you're going to be able to just take one of these little handheld computers and you're going to be able to actually just tell it, hey, I want a movie with this type of MC, maybe choose a love interest, have them go through this and deal with this situation and give me a surprise at the end with a twist at about the whatever mark. And then boom, you're going to be able to watch a full movie, fully CGI'd, fully everything, all the voice and all that. Well, the voice is actually pretty easy to do. They figured that one out mostly. And it's just, yeah, the theater, Hollywood's scared. They're scared. They won't be able to control people like that. Now ChatGPT is what's going to be controlling people, but you got to be careful. My favorite is the one that says, never take camping advice from ChatGPT. It looks like this woman is actually stoking a fire, but if you look close, the fire is actually inside her tent about 3 feet away. Yeah, that's smart. But it's getting there, folks. It's getting there. You don't have any idea how many times I'll actually be, even today, I was looking up movie times, and guess what came up as a advertisement? You want an AI girlfriend? No, fuck off. And it's just, it's annoying. But you know what they say, if it's free, you're the product. Okay, Chris says, my friend, you mentioned people talking crap. Try dealing with family when money's involved. Yes, I have. And you're the one being greedy, just trying to set up retirement. Yeah, I have been there. I have done that. And it's So messed up. Don't forget, I was in the service. We didn't get paid much. So when people realize that you got a sign-on bonus or everything you got when you're deployed was tax-free, the vultures are circling. Usually siblings, not always. Sometimes you have the parents in there too, but they're circling around you, just waiting for you to just put your card down or something so they can get online and order something that they wanted. Oh, I didn't know it was your card. I'm sorry. Just pay for it. I'll cover you later. Yeah, later is not going to show up. I've known guys who they're, 18 years old. They still have a joint account with like their parents. In one case, a dad who's I think he was lieutenant colonel, and basically had a death grip on this kid's life through his finances. And I was so mad. Probably the only time I told the colonel to go fuck himself. Actually, it was the only time I told the colonel to go fuck himself. And he's like, "What's your name and rank? Come over to Korea and find me, bitch." Anyways, you're right. It's crazy. Everybody thinks, "Oh, you should give up everything or else you're the bad guy." Don't give me that line of crap. It's unfortunately, one of the kickers is if when you're really young, you don't realize you're getting taken advantage of, and then you find out later. Wow. Wow. It's messed up. Okay. He continues, if you need a story, feel free to use the first one I sent with the improbability drive. I'll print it back out. I had it somewhere. I don't know where I put it. It's probably still in my inbox. Let's see. Ernest says, if someone sends it, you can use it. Yes. I mean, sound effect. Yeah. It's sound effect. Yeah, you can. Just make sure you send it via email. I'm going to actually right now, see if it'll come through. Okay. I'm going to put in the actual email and address in the chat box so you guys actually have it. So anyways, let's see. Guardian says, have you seen any ads regarding the Transformers compendium? No, I haven't. Unfortunately, most of the Transformers series is dead to me because they refuse to do it right. They keep doing this childish crap. And I'm like, guys, you have a manual, a illustrated manual how to do this right, and you refuse to do it. Why? Because Michael Bay decided to have nothing but explosions and shooting for 2 hours and called it a Transformers movie. Except for the very first one. That actually had some decent dialogue. He continues with, apparently they went through and published all the original Transformer comics in one volume for the US and one for the UK comic series. Okay, I didn't hear about this, so I'll have to look it up. Let me put this down. Transformers Copium? Oh, compendium. Okay. Yeah, when I first read that, I thought it was copium, like you were trying to make a joke. Okay, Lena says, does the snow yellow need to be put on the t-shirt? I'm not putting her on it. I don't even want to see that. I'm glad it's being pulled from theaters. I don't ever want to see it ever again. She's actually made it to the point where I don't even want to show my nieces the original cartoon. That's how much she's made me hate it. It's crazy. Let's see. Lena says, I've heard from Star Wars YouTube channels that the new TIE Avenger is insane. Yeah, I saw a breakdown of that thing. Seriously, that thing is covered in guns. Apparently is like 5 times more durable than an actual TIE fighter. Has hyperdrive, has shields, has like 20 different guns, most of which could easily wipe everybody out in like a matter of seconds. Just racks and racks and racks of guided missiles on this damn thing. I'm like, yeesh. That was not something I want to face off against. It's just, the thing is, it's Star Wars. So, you have to go by their physics as well. But yes, the new TIE Avenger is just over. It's basically their version of a Tiger tank in 1941. I mean, it's just unbelievable how dangerous that damn thing is. But yes, let's see. He also says about the new episode Doctor Who. The heck is that? I don't actually hate that episode. Okay, I'm not a big fan myself, so I can't say anything else on that. Guardian says it most definitely is insane. It's more of a gunship than a fighter. Yes and no. Does it have as many guns as a gunship? Yes, but for it to be an actual gunship, you need more than just one pilot. Just like I'm trying to remember what it was. It was one of the original CG movies, Star Blazer or something like that, Star Gunner, whatever. And the human guy, was in the ball turret in front, and the pilot reptilian was in back. And he's just, that's an actual gunship. Okay, just like an Apache is a gunship. If you just had the pilot and no gunner, you could actually reclassify it as a VTOL fighter. It wouldn't be a gunship anymore. Bolsheviks, drink. Yeah, you smartass. Don't forget, we try to stay away from politics when we can on this channel. Sometimes they ooze their way in. We try to shoo them all out. But if you guys don't know, you guys got to watch Terrence Pop, usually on Tuesdays when he's got his friend Steve that they call the Battle Dwarf. And that's a drinking game they do. And, one sec.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something right.
The Last Starfighter. Thank you, Guardian Sage. And you were just waiting for something to throw in there, weren't you? Let me write this down. Guardian Sage. Hey, by the way, you're going to have to let me know if you like the visuals I've been trying to find. I'm trying to find anything with the face covering. It's surprisingly difficult. Unless I want to go ChatGPT style, and I'm not going to do that. But thank you for reminding me of that one. I appreciate it. Let me get back up to where I was, roughly. But anyway, yeah, that's he talks about some pretty serious issues. So if you guys want to talk about the more serious stuff, go watch Terrence Pop. He'll do all that fun stuff. Anyway, Demon says that all reminds me of the Last of Us TV show. God, I find it funny. It's getting bad reviews because the storyline sucks in second season, and they are blaming the gamers for the bad reviews. Fuck all that. I mean, that just, oh my God, that's the type you want to put them. What the hell? It's just, I'm going to send one of these towards them. And just, what the hell are they thinking? Seriously, what the hell are they thinking? The reviewers, or not the reviewers, but the gamers are not the problem. The problem is the storyline. When they brought out the second one, they decided identity politics was the way to go. So they totally took the narrative, flipped it over, bent it over something, and then crammed something into Joe's cranium, which happened to be a freaking golf club. I'm like, yeah, they held him down, they bent him over, and they beat the shit out of him. And it didn't make any sense then. And people had high hopes that they had unfucked themselves for the second season of the show. And apparently, when they did the whole charge against the walls of these basically White Walkers, and they're chucking barrels of friggin' gasoline and stuff over the side and setting everybody on fire, apparently it was really good. I saw part of it. It's on YouTube within 5 minutes. And I'm just like, what the hell? It's just, yeah, it was a bad storyline. And if I see one more thing of, oh yeah, the main character is getting out one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm like, I don't care. And in a survival situation, that shit don't happen. You know how I know? Because I've seen what happens in survival situations. Everybody falls back to their original setup because you can't afford anything else. Okay, that's a wrap for me on that. Okay, Brian says hello. Hello, Brian. How you doing? Let's see. War Sniper says, I owe you a sorry. I owe you a sorry. I overreacted. No worries. Oh, Erica said that. Let's see. Demons. Gamers are not really watching the show because we played the games and hated the second game. There you go. And didn't really bother watching the show because we know what happened. It's the normies watching the show who don't play the games, but they just can't comprehend that it's bad writing. Yes, it's not just bad writing, it's bad producing, it's bad directing, it's bad all the way around. They should have fixed it so it didn't just follow the original one, because if they had followed the original story, the first, and by the way, they're trying to go by the first option. I saw that, and as soon as I heard the one of the executive producers say that, I'm like, you stupid bitch. Main reason is because the first option was to let Ellie die. That was the first option. The second option was saving her. At least that's the way it was supposed to be when it came out. Whether or not you got the first version, second version, whatever, or they swapped it over or whatever. But come on. It doesn't. Does it pass the sniff test? Hold on. Nope. That's bad shit. That's bad shit. It's just bad stuff right there. Oh my God. But you're right. It's bad writing. It was bad execution. They tried to get some chick who was kind of buff, but I'm sorry, she's 5'2". She wouldn't have the arm strength to even bury that club into his head. If anything, she'd just constantly be giving him a concussion. The only place she could actually get anything is at the very base of the skull. And if you don't know how to do that and don't have the pressure to do it, you're not going to kill him. It's going to hurt like hell, but you're not going to kill him. You're right. It's bad. It's just bad. It's bad all the way around. And they're trying to make it good. I'm like, you can't, because you're trying to do a shot for shot remake. If it was bad the first time, why remake it? Ask Disney. Anyways, War Sniper says, I accept your apology, patting Erica's head. Don't forget to fluff her tail. Okay, Demon, just put her in a maid outfit. Then he will forgive you in no time. Sure. Saw that message. Okay. I don't know what the message said, so I don't know. All I know is when he says, bruh, something's wrong. Let's see. Let's see. Guard says, all right, look, War Sniper, I deleted the first message because I sent it too early and there was too many errors in it. I'm pretty sure I would have given Sin a seizure from it. It would take a lot to give me a seizure. But the thing is, I've been in positions where I would have possibly had one. I just get nauseous. But that's what soda's for, because there's an acid they put in there to make sure you don't vomit. So it's all good. And here I am dropping stuff. Okay. Doug says, sorry for not commenting much. My son went to Air Force Basic yesterday. Hey, cool. And until he's done training, I will be distracted. Now, for anybody who knows somebody going into the service, here's something. Please do this. Please do this as soon as you find their address for basic training. Go to whatever pharmacy, grocery store, whatever. Buy them a bunch of the travel size stuff. I literally just told my nephew about this yesterday, and all the other guys who are going to basic training. Of course, they're going basic training for the Army. But in any case, when they go to the field, they're going to want to carry the small travel stuff, not the freaking toothbrush, because you might as well just brush your teeth with a stick and a pine cone. It is so hard. And you're just going to end up with what's called scour on your gums. It ain't worth it. But travel shaving cream, a travel toothpaste, and, well, one or two razors would be nice. Believe me, they're going to go through those real quick. If you have and by the way, let them know, and this is straight from somebody who was a drill sergeant, okay? when they go and pick up their hygiene stuff, whatever you think you need as far as shaving, guys, you get double the amount of blades you think you need. You can always take them with you. For the ladies, you need to worry about the hygiene at the lower portion. Whatever you think you need, whatever your count is, double that shit, because it's really bad when all of a sudden everybody in the bay runs out because all that shit starts to sync up, locks in together, and everybody's going at the same time. And next thing you know, they're coming out walking kind of weird because their britches are full of freaking toilet paper, trying to catch all that stuff. And yes, if that grossed you out, grossed me out too. About the time I said, what the hell is that smell? And it's just, next thing you know, there's our best female drill sergeant telling me what the hell's going on. I'm like, what can we do? This is the only thing we could do is go buy it ourselves. Eventually we said, fuck this. We went down and we literally went to the PX, put a basket underneath all that stuff, reached over, grabbed, pulled it off. And it was like $500 worth of shit. And we just showed up, threw it on the floor and said, go crazy. We didn't even care what size it was. So anyway, yeah, if they're going into basic, well, Air Force, not so much because they don't really go to the field. But yeah, it's just going to be a nice thing to have in case you run out. Anyway, down here, Lena says you can find Warhammer 40K fanfic that will describe the lore in very good detail. My favorite faction is the Corny Marines. What? I'm probably mispronouncing that. But that's with the E at the end. That's what it's, at least in English, corny. Corny Marines. Okay, somebody was having a joke on that day when they did that one. And dude, if I mispronounced it, I mispronounced it. I'm just going by how it's spelled. Anyway, Wars Number says, for some reason, my message got deleted and returned for some reason. I don't know what's going on with this. I do not control YouTube at all. And there's the woot woot. Halo Elite. Actually, it's supposed to be what? Go, but it's reversed. The thing is, they do that sort of thing to actually save themselves from having to pay the voice actors extra money, which I think is bullshit. But you know what? I'm not in that business. Okay, Douglas says the only thing I get worried about with regards to weather is tornadoes, a all too frequent occurrence in Oklahoma. All I can say is have your bug out bag or whatever the hell you need inside your underground bunker. Even if it's they make some that are so small, you put 4 people in it, you close the lid, and once you put the bolts in, you're literally side by side like this, basically just squeezed together, waiting for everything to pass. It's just a little square with a little bit of dome over the side, so the wind has a hard time getting under it. And I've actually known people, they said it saved their life. You might only need it once in your life, but it'll save your life. And it is what it is. You know, just like just this morning, like when I give you guys a safety brief about watching, if you see one deer, there's another one. Just this morning, no shit, I'm heading to the gym. I see a deer on the side of the road. I slow down a lot. And just as I do, as I'm starting to turn, I see another deer almost jump into the road. I'm like, oh shit. So if I'd been going full speed, I probably would have clipped it and probably damaged my car. Probably not enough to send it through my windshield, but still, yeah. Okay. Guard, I'm going to have mispronounced this. Bahama. Bahaha. Ha 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 ha. My tongue broke. Ugh. Okay. Guard says also, I feel like the biggest crime this stream gives you. An opinion to do is to block somebody. Like you can't let us block YouTubers, but you can let us block some random ass person on Steam. That's stupid. What's up? You can block people on YouTube. When you see their channel come up on your feed on the side there, you actually, instead of clicking like uninterested, you look down, it actually says stop showing channel, block channel. You know, it's right there. I use it all the time because I get because of what I do, I get all the Chat GPT channels coming up. No joke. I blocked like 3 or 4 of them today, just like less than an hour, or no, less than 2 hours ago. I went through and I just removed the channels, and that plays into the algorithm. But the problem is all they do is make another channel. I've actually looked into their channel, go in, they got 2, 3, 4 views, and they've been up for like 6 weeks or more. I'm just like, whatever, you pieces of shit. There's Erica putting her 2 cents in with the twins, and yes, artificial wombs. Yes, we did go over that. Unlike Black Mirror, it's not a bag; it's an actual. I would consider a glass tube a better idea, but hey, I'm not a doc, so. Guard says that's a very nice argument, but I put a landmine underneath your floor in a random spot in your house, so now every step is a choice of life or death. And oh, that's right, I took it off. I had on here for a second. And I pulled it off for some reason. Now I'm actually pissed I did. Let's see. Lena says Chicken Jockey was the last message on 4chan before it got shut down. Yeah, actually, I forgot about that. 4chan got completely shut down. I don't know who shut it down, but they shut it down. Yeah, Guard, they did. They shut down 4chan. It's gone now, which is kind of messed up because that's where all the actual news was coming from. If you needed to know something, you went to 4chan, and you know, once you siphon through some of the shit, you would actually find the actual what really happened. And yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know why they shut down 4chan. Probably because it was getting too close to the truth. That's all I can figure, is they was getting too close to what was real or what the truth actually is. Maybe somebody actually figured out the smoking gun for Tartaria. Maybe they actually have pictures of Solomon's tomb that we took out of Iraq. Maybe they actually found out that the mud flood was actually just a whole bunch of volcanoes going off with a bunch of readjustment in the ground levels, whatever it might be. And by the way, on that last one, that's what happens during a younger Dryas. The more evidence I look at from people bringing up, the more it shows me that there was at least 2 super volcanoes that blew. When they blew, there was a huge seismic event that adjusted the height of certain areas. Because of that, guess what? There's going to be a huge flood. It's going to take a long time for the water to actually go back to where it is, especially if underneath the floor of the ocean is still kind of pliable and moving a little bit. You don't know what the hell's going on. And you would actually need drobe rocks to make sure you're not tilting and falling every single other way, or else you're just going to shift too much. You're going to capsize and everybody's fucked. But when you have that much ash going up in the air and you have a whole bunch of water, what do you get? A lot of sediment. And all that's going to settle. And when it settles, it's going to cover a lot of stuff. And it's going to be mud. Am I making sense yet? Anyway, let's see. Demon says, the only movie I'm looking forward to is Primal War, aka Dinosaurs in Vietnam, a action horror movie. I may or may not see it. I'm just gonna tell you straight out, I may or may not see it. The only reason I went and watched Amateurs because that's the type of movie my dad likes, and I took him to it. And I want to see Warfare because a lot of critics said it was really good. And actually, my dad was like, you can watch that and it's not going to affect you. I'm like, look, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a couple actors on screen talking to affect me. Unless I know the person, it ain't going to affect me. Let's see. Guard saying, I want to watch it so bad. Dinosaurs in Vietnam. Is that a velociraptor? When actually velociraptors were only this tall? Yeah. Let's see. Guard also says, I'm legit putting $60 in my safe just so I have enough to watch the movie and get food there. Hide the food in your jacket. Even if it's 90 degrees, put your jacket on, hide your food, because that shit is so overpriced. Honestly, that's one of the reasons one of the things I used to look forward to always was eating nachos while watching the previews. Now, instead of here's your nachos fresh out of the heater so they're still warm, here's a huge glob of freaking nacho sauce or nacho cheese. Plus, if you want, put the nacho cheese on the nachos. Now you get this little tiny little Tostitos bag with like a half an ounce of these tiny little rounds that are smaller than a fucking quarter. Then you get one of their little dipping sauces that's so shallow you can't even get the fucking thing in there to get any dip on the chip before you eat it. I'm like, what the hell? And then they want to charge you, like $17, $18 for this. Fuck you. Find the darkest part of my ass and kiss it. But hey, sometimes you still find a place. There's one down about 25 minutes from here, but they only show stuff at night. But they actually do the nachos right. It's a old school place, and you can tell it's kind of dirty, but I'd rather go there. Let's see. Demon says, glad I'm not the only one who wants to see it. Yeah. It's dinosaurs and warfare. Those are like two of my favorite genres in movies. And I'm sure games, Mr. Probably playing Turok. See, Erica says, I wish the artificial wombs were real. They are, because it would give us a non-lethal way to deal with the unwanted pregnancies. Then again, it will put a stop to certain things. Yeah, it will put a stop to a lot of things. We have the technology. We've had the technology for decades. I've seen the technology personally. Can't say where, can't say when, because I don't feel like having somebody, we need to talk, you violated your NDA. And it's gonna blow me. Anyways, but I've seen all the parts of this technology. It's there. It's not even that hard to do. Once you get the basics down, honestly, just like a house, once you have the solid foundation, the rest is easy. You're just building on top of it. It's making sure you're not building on sand. But in any case, one of the key things with this technology is, say they release that technology. There's going to be this huge boom in technology, especially when it comes to the medical field. Once that boom in the medical field happens and they realize, oh, wait, we can now use frequency modulation to heal everybody. We can cure your cancer and everything. Oh, wait, we can use the same frequency, adjust the modulation, adjust the waves a little bit, and magically we've got free energy. By the way, they're linked. That's why that'll never happen, because they want to make more money off petroleum-based medicines. Oy, they can kiss my ass. I mean, seriously, what the hell? But the thing is, with the non-lethal pregnancy or non-lethal way to deal with unwanted pregnancies, there's so many things on that. I mean, that could be its own stream, because I would have to sit here and write down everything. And unfortunately, I'd be getting to the politics section, which I'd rather not do. However, one of the key things about the artificial wombs is that folks who want to decide when they're going to have kids, a woman could actually stop the dropping of her eggs with her ovaries. There's ways to do that without going into menopause. And yes, the eggs are still there. And then, you and your husband can, do the whole, oops, I tripped over and over and over again, as much as you want, and then choose when a child is born. Plus, you could adjust certain genetics. So, I want them to have green eyes. I want them to have sandy hair. oh, it's going to be a boy. He must be at least 6'1". Do all that sort of thing. And then we're going to get in some really interesting places. Okay, down here it says demon. He says, well, let us pray to the movie gods. It's actually good and actually follows the source material well. I have not read the source material, so I'm flying blind. Okay, Lena says 4chan was hacked a few weeks ago and they shut it down. Okay, maybe it was already back. I haven't heard of it back yet. If it is, great, because they talk about stuff weeks ahead of everybody else. Weeks, if not months, sometimes years. I just saw again the Yuri Bezmenov interview, which, by the way, everybody should watch. He former KGB, and he laid out exactly what they did to our country over here. And I'm just like, wow, this is so fucked up, but it is what it is. But anyway, that came from 4chan. Okay, War Sniper says, Sin, have you heard of the massive nuke that has gone off in the VTuber area? Cinder is uncovered as it. Hold on. Heard of the massive nuke that has gone off in the VTuber area? Cinder is uncovered as a psychopath together with her boyfriend and had stealed ideas from other VTubers and friends. I'm not even sure what you're talking about on this one. Are you talking about the valley where they thought the nuke went off and everybody ran for their lives? I don't. You lost me, War Sniper. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Okay, Ernest says, I will look for my sound effects from Star Trek and email them. I would appreciate that very much. I'm only going to be using a couple of them. I will not be using any voices from them. So if you have the whole live long and prosper, I'm not using that. Just things like the weapons fire or not the teleporter. I can find that anywhere. Like the actual explosions inside, the rapid depressurization, stuff like that. That'd be nice to use. Okay. Guys, I just seen this. Guard saying, holy shit, I think a tornado's trying to form. Hopefully nowhere close. You have us worried here, Guard. Don't if you hear that siren, dude, don't stay with us. Fucking run. Don't do anything but run. Get down somewhere low, duck and cover, all that fun stuff, because holy fucking shit. I don't want you coming out of a wreckage covered in scratches, holding an arm that's half off, going, this is bad, right? This is bad. No, just no, dude. No, don't fuck with that. That's seriously no. Okay, sorry guys. For some reason, this thing is jumping all over the place today, so I'm trying to get it where I need to be. Okay, I'm gonna have to go here. Alan says, still around, but floating around on a ducky floaty. Okay, why not? Hold on a second. I am so thirsty, guys. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me today. Okay, here I am dropping shit. Sorry, guys. I gotta swap this out because I can't. I'm not actually authorized to pitch anybody, and that koozie had a store logo on it, so I couldn't use it. Anyways, Guard also says, okay, so I went 2 different Gmails. One's file attached, okay, because the second one does ignore the bottom from it. Okay, I got you. Guard says, I feel like there's a sex joke in there somewhere, but I don't know. That whenever that happens, I always go enter joke here, but I do not bend over when that happens. All right. Lena says, yeah, sure. I thought The Last of Us first season was kind of fun. That's what I heard. I heard the first season was really good. But unfortunately, you can kill an entire series with one bad season, or in this case, with a couple bad shows. I mean, just look at Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones for the first, it was only like 7 seasons long, but for the first 6 was really good. And then I don't know what happened. They went off the rails, and people's personalities suddenly changed, and they're doing shit they weren't supposed to do, and I don't know what the fuck. It's just absolutely crazy. Let's see. Guardian City says they're welcome. The images you have used are good. Okay, he was talking about the cover of the hen ones. I could find the picture that I used on my laptop's background and file picture and send it. Yeah, go ahead, send an email. I'll check. You guys know I'm kind of bad at checking my emails, but I'll get in there. Okay, Lena says if you want to see Last of Us TV show, you just need to play the game. Yep, which is why everybody was pissed. Everybody knew that the Worst of Us 2 was a shit game, so everybody was hoping that they would change. And at first, it looked like they would, but nope. Guard says, with The Last of Us Part 2, they went for identity politics, and revenge is bad. No kidding. And before I do anything,
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Actually, something is right, because we have a Brian Kemp with a $10 super chat. And let me write these down, Brian, really quick so I don't forget you. He says, enjoyed the Garbage Planet story. Oh, thank you. That one kind of took a life of its own once I really got started. It really, really expanded. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's all I really can say. All right, where the hell was I at before? Let's see. Guard says, I tried playing the second game, but I just couldn't stand it. Sorry, guys. I had a hang and sneeze there. I gave it my 3-hour policy. Jeez, I would have stopped it too. If I'm not happy with it and having fun with it 3 hours into the game, it's not worthy of my time nor money. I would think so. Let's see. He also says, so pretty much what happened, Sin, is that I was playing War Thunder for the M109, and one directly impacted a Japanese M47 in the face. That's nice. Let's see. He also says, like the little guy had no clue what to take. Straight up slugged him with a 40-pound shell. HE on that high explosive. Yeah, dude. What the fuck? Yeah, I got to bring those bottles downstairs. So, okay, whatever. But yeah, 40-pound HE shell. Yeah, there's not going to be much left except a hole. Let's see. Lena says, World of Warships has very good lines for the Kuro Marines. Fire alarm, good, let it burn. Things like that. If I want to use something like that, I want the actual phrases. I'm still waiting for Sacred Cow Shipyards to get back to me. And he's got the one with the bell ringing, and all of a sudden it's like, vampire, vampire, vampire. Set all conditions to Zed. Check around the ship. Brace for impact. All that fun stuff. But he does it the right way. I can't do it the right way because I wasn't in the Navy. Gar continues. So I have a M56 and War Thunder right now, and I swear to God, it started shelling. It's giving me God, it started shelling. Its starting shell is giving me an aneurysm with how pathetic it is. Yeah, a lot of those were not exactly impressive. Now, if they're not exactly set up to be exactly the way the shells used to be, and that's one of the things about video games that drives me crazy. I mean, You can't shoot an Abrams tank with 3 belts of 50 cal and expect to kill it. Doesn't work that way. They're all just going to bounce off, hopefully not back at you. But it's like, what the fuck, man? But you hit it with something big and it just explodes. Anyways, he continues. Its starting shell is the M332 Hypershot shell. Okay. And I'm not even joking. Really, it didn't penetrate. It's so bad with its output and damage compared to penetration. Oh, fun. So I will save the jokes for later. Had to forward tap a Tiger in the front plate. So you're tapping a Tiger so you can get penetration on it. Come on, guys. You're making this a little too easy. You guys know how it is when it comes to actual jokes, when it comes to especially space combat. You know, especially when you get up behind them with a new group, so they're not quite wet behind the ears, but they don't have any actual big space time, no fight time, so they're going in dry. He continues, like, yes, it's like piercing the front plate, but my damage is so pathetic. I was pretty much killing him. One of the 2 crew members at the time, there were 6 crew members in a Tiger 1. Yes, there was. Erica's saying more like a Utah Rapture. Okay. Guardian says, yeah, the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park and other movies that reference it are actually, you know, I'm going to mispronounce this, but I'll try. Deinonychus, which are roughly halfway between an actual Velociraptor and a Megaraptor. Megaraptors were what, 15 feet tall? They're pretty big. They might as well just be a class of their own. Anyway, the thing is, the only thing I know about the Megaraptor was some CGI stuff. I don't even know if they were trying to blow smoke up my ass or something. Demon says, I can't wait for Sin to try to pronounce that. Yeah. Let's see. Alan says, still around, but hanging from a ducky float in Waco, Texas. Hey, you guys are a whole lot warmer down there than we are up here. Douglas says, as far as the places you might have seen some of the advanced tech, I have a good idea where some of those places are. Please don't speculate because I don't want to actually play that game. In my case, I don't want a high-speed projectile coming my way. Yeah, especially when I'm right next to an open window. You guys might see, you know, brains splatter against the freaking camera. Or like my heart explode. You know. Anyway, Chris says, just had an idea. Rather than just tweaking DNA for kids, like in Garbage Planet, modify humans to have tri and quad helix in their DNA rather than just double helix and make them superhuman. Yeah, that's also a quick way to over design someone. You can actually confuse DNA. You got to be careful on that. But the kicker is, Chris is right. You can actually put a helix in a helix. And it's the amount of things you can do on that is just, they more than boggle the mind. They actually make my brain hurt. And he's not kidding about superhuman. You would have such control over your twitch muscles that the speed of a punch would be so fast, it would be inconceivable, unperceivable from the human eyes until the eyes have been juiced up where they can actually see it. You'd be able to comprehend at levels that, again, would make you want to puke. You're freaking calculating so fast. And you wouldn't just be superhuman, you'd be a walking supercomputer. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And the chances are you'd be, during the day, using telekinesis and telepathy, you wouldn't have to talk anymore. But at night, you could just be like, instead of dreaming, I think I'll go and meet somebody over on the astral plane tonight. You know, just like you're going to grab a beer with your buddies. I mean, it's just crazy. Chris is, oh yeah, kind of like the Fifth Element, superhuman. Yeah, that was actually why the suspension of disbelief works so well with that character, is because she's supposed to be absolutely perfect, which means her musculature allows her to strike with such force compared to her size. It is actually right on the edge of physics. And she's supposedly hitting so fast that the kinetic force is just way more than anyone else can handle. Which is also the only reason she survived getting a bullet hole, actually multiple bullet holes through her torso. And all they did was throw a gauze bandage over it and call it good. Normally, she would have bled out long before they got to her. Yeah, no kidding. Stay safeguard. Lena says, have you heard about the earthquake machine in the South Pole, Antarctica? Yes, I have. And that thing apparently misfired once. And it was the reason for, if I remember correctly, it was Italy. It was either Italy or Spain. It was right in that area. They misfired the weapon. It hit and caused like a 7-point-something earthquake where there's no fault lines. And they're like, what in the ever-loving hell? And that put a major, major dent into the olive industry that year. And this was like maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe more. And I'm sure you guys can look that up. You'll find the exact year if you want. But yes, I have heard about it. Could it be done? Theoretically, yes. And whenever somebody says theoretically yes, they're basically saying, yeah, they already did it, but we're not allowed to see it. Just like we're not allowed to have any anti-gravitic technology, which would make work so much faster. It's not even funny. It's just crazy. Let's see. Leonid also says, for the last episode of Doctor Who Gives a Shit, the heck is that they refused an idea from 17 years ago when Doctor Who was decent. Yeah, that's why I keep calling it Doctor Who Gives a Shit anymore. I mean, they've totally destroyed that show. It is a shame. War Sniper says, Leonid, I have a few Warhammer 40k commanders on my ships. They are fun. The red one on my Super Yamato. Not just Yamato, but Super Yamato. The other one on my Gaff Zeppelin. I don't know what a Gaff Zeppelin is, but okay. Continues. Still waiting till the Azure Lane collab happens and gives my Shinano commander for my IGN Shinano aircraft. Okay, fun. Lena says, for me, Frieren is more like Devil May Cry than the Devil May Cry anime. Okay, quote. So do you want to kill the demon, or should we wait until it does something evil? Yeah. Eric saying, sorry, so late. No, you're fine. There's no such thing as late as long as you're here. And I'm sure everybody will agree with that. Let's see. Lena says, I don't know why Halo doesn't have battleships or antimatter weapons in 2525. What are they doing screwing around with frigates? I take it you didn't read the books. They said it right off the bat. The few battleships they did have, because at that point they're only fighting insurgents, so they didn't have a lot of heavy hitter ships. The few they did have, they lost very, very quickly in the fight against the Covenant, because they thought they could take one battleship versus a CCS cruiser and it would be an even match. It wasn't even close. The first time they fired their MAC guns, they only had one of them instead of 4 like they should have, and it refracted off the shield. And the CCS carrier kind of stood there and went, really? And now it did win, sort of. We'll just call it a tie, at least with those two ships, because neither of them made it out of the battle. Before the human ship went down, it fired again, and that time it was able to penetrate stem to stern. It took out that one, more or less. It took out the bridge, not the engine, but the main battleship was toast, completely gone. And after that, all they had was the frigates. And let's face it, when you're trying to win a war, sometimes it's quantity over quality. You just got to get it all done, which is why the Autumn ships, like Pillar of Autumn, or sorry, Halcyon class ships, Pillar of Autumn, were so few because they were so compartmentalized by the honeycomb that was inside that it just took forever to build the damn thing. So they were going with more simplistic designs. That's why they stuck with frigates. That the UNS Infinity and then the Eternity were both supposed to be basically giant lifeboats. They were supposed to be colonization craft, but in a different way, like get everybody off Earth before the Covenant shows up and glasses everybody into nothing but smoldering ash. So, but that's why they stuck with frigates. I don't know why they didn't have more destroyers. To me, a destroyer just would make more sense to have more. But the thing is, they're frigates, and you got to remember a frigate, at least in science fiction, because believe me, the Blue Water Navy has a very interesting way of classifying frigates. But a frigate in science fiction is a purpose built, as in it is focused on one major thing. The majority of frigates they had were just a MAC gun with a couple of PDCs around it. That's all they were. It was a gun, the engines, the tiny little crew area, and then some point defense cannons on the outside, maybe some missile launchers if you're lucky. Its job was to fling the MAC cannon rounds as fast as possible, as far as possible, as accurately as possible, and then run like a scared little bitch, because you're not going to be able to take any more shots beside that before the plasma goes and whacks you across the face. So, and that's the way the majority of times they had to fight was to come in with all these frigates, fire a full volley, hide, and then try to recharge and then hit them again with another volley. It's basically they're trying to fight people with M1 Garands, but you only have a muzzle loader. Can it be done? Sure, but you got to be really smart. And let's face it, if the person with M1 Garand or Grand or however you want to put it sees a cannon being loaded, he's going to take out the people loading the cannon. So this is one of the reasons I like the first few books of the Halo series, because they made practical sense. After a while, they started going, and I couldn't make sense of what the hell was going on. Okay. Guard says, great, I'm getting hit with golf ball size hail. Ow. Just ow. A whole lot of ow, by the way. I've been around with hail coming down. It wasn't quite golf ball size, but still, I'm just saying, ouch. And I was wearing a helmet. So anything that was hitting my shoulders hurt. I can just imagine it cracking into your head. Demon says, I got to leave for work in 20 minutes. I don't want to. I don't want it. You can have it. Never mind. I can't say that song. I'll definitely get a strike if I do that one. Believe it or not, that's an old polka song. And I'll just say it one time, because you used to hear this at the weddings too. I don't want her. You can have her. She's too fat for me. Hey, she's too fat for me. Hey, and with the hey, everybody kind of just goes with that. But you can't even find that anymore. And it's just whatever. It was a cultural thing, whatever. Let's see. Gart says, God, these clouds are moving in so many different directions. I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to get a tornado in my area. Dude, you know what to do. I don't have to tell you nothing. Just please be careful. It's not something you trifle with. He continues, I've never seen the weather be this aggressive in my area, tornado-wise, in years. I'm talking 10 to 15 years, kind of a while. Well, the thing is, the weather's being weird everywhere. We got some really strong solar spot activity. We're in the middle of a solar maximum, which a lot of this controls our weather. So, yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of really, really messed up. But, I mean, I don't know what else to do on that one. Ernest says, have to go check some things. Later, guys. Later, Ernest. See you later. And let me see, where the hell was I? Sorry, this thing jumped all over. Okay. Lena says, what do you think about this story idea? Well, hold on, let me write this down. Aliens want to go to Earth to buy human genetics in exchange for old technology they don't use. Okay. Okay, hold on. Human genetics in exchange for old tech. So basically what they're doing right now. I mean, I could work with that, no problem. I've kind of played with that before too, but it wasn't for human genetics. It was, you hired the humans? Are you insane? It's actually a 3-part series on that. I wish I'd spent a little more time on the 3rd part, but yeah, if you watch how it's going up, it shows the evolution on that one. But yeah, I can work with that. I can definitely work with that. Douglas says a Graf Zeppelin is a World War I hydrogen balloon. Actually, most of those weren't filled with hydrogen; they were helium. That's actually something that was misdone in history. The fact that the original Zeppelins were never filled with hydrogen; they were filled with helium because hydrogen was considered too dangerous. The hydrogen cells were only used in the maiden flight of the Hindenburg, and somebody wanted to supposedly prove that hydrogen cells were safe. I personally think they set the whole thing up to explode because, reason being, if you look at the timeline, petroleum was starting to become a thing. They wanted to get rid of these airships that ran on batteries and traveled huge different distances in comfort, in perfect comfort. A lot of people get into the whole steampunk thing. The thing is, they weren't that far off from where technology should have been for the general public. The more I find out about stuff like this, the more I'm like, wow, Napoleon was right. History is a bunch of lies agreed upon. What the fuck? I mean, that was, I'm not quoting him perfectly, but that's what he said. History is nothing more than a list of lies agreed upon. Okay. Horse Sniper says they still hate the Russians for it. Okay. And Sir is here. Hey, Sir is here. Sir, did you look up the stuff I sent you? Hopefully it's going to help. And by the way, I see something here and I got to
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something right.
And Sir decided to drop 50. Holy shit. Okay. That's another big one, Sir. And no super chat, but a super sticker. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it very, very much. You are still getting your shout outs. You're still actually on your previous giant donation you did about 2 months ago. You're still good on that one. But again, appreciate it very much. And again, I'm just wondering, did you look up what I put in the chat box last time as far as the link? I hope you did, because we all want you to do better. I'm all about setting people up for success, and it might work with you. I actually am getting some new supplements myself in the next couple of days. I'm going to see how they work with me, and it wouldn't be the first time. If something doesn't work, I got to throw it out. But I'd rather you're still kicking around. That's kind of important. But once again, thank you again, sir. I very much appreciate it. Looking up here, I also see something from Leonid. He says, I do know that in some ways, railguns act like unguided torpedoes. They need to connect with the target. Yeah. Yep. They're just a big ass bullet. Eric Aston, I haven't checked my emails lately, Erica. I couldn't tell you. I'm sorry, guys. I am horrible on checking emails. I freely admit it. I only check my mailbox once a week. Let's see. Lena says, I'm playing a video game where I have built a heavy 3,000-ton frigate with AM missiles, and it's supposed to be strong enough to take on level 27 fleets. Okay, I don't even know which game you're playing. So, yeah. Yep, everybody's and by the way, that 0 with the 7, that's a salute to the sir. And yes, everyone's hoping you're feeling better. You didn't get it? Son of a damn it. You know what? Let me see if I can't pull it up right quick here. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up as fast as I can. I don't know if you guys are seeing that on your screen or not. I'm trying to get something to open, and it doesn't want to open. There we go. All right, I'm going to resend the link if you didn't get it. And that's the one to hopefully take care of your medical situation there, sir. I don't want to say too much unless you want to say it to anyone else. But obviously, everybody here is glad you're here, and we're glad to hear from you. And we're just going to keep going here. Lena says, right now I'm fitting AM missiles on a medium 5,000-ton battleships. It's level 28. Again, I'm not sure which game you're on, so let's see. Douglas says the Hindenburg disaster was too perfect set of conditions. St. Elmo's fire usually does not have the kind of effect on things. Yes, you are right. There was too much going on, and the thing is, there's almost no other video anywhere of any dirigible anywhere except for one, and that happens to be the Hindenburg. It doesn't. It was set up. Douglas, you are 100,000 fucking % correct. It was too set up. It's obvious as hell when people look at it now, but at the time, just like everything else, when you get played, you don't realize that you're getting played. And I don't know about you, I don't like being played. I really don't. And I get so mad that people are sitting there telling me to
relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
But I'm not cooling off when I get played. Goddamn, can't talk. Sorry, guys. It's getting freaking warm in here. Anyway, but yeah, the Hindenburg was just too perfect. And the thing is, I don't know if you guys ever seen the internal specs for when they build these things. It literally was a cruise ship in the sky. I'm not kidding. A full-on galley, viewing deck, people's own rooms. Like, holy shit. It just, dance floor, full band. I'm like, what the hell? And the thing is, if you look at the timeline, that's right around the time they said that we had a reset. I'm like, how do you do a reset that close? I don't know why. But you also have the Cabbage Patch Babies and all this other fun. And I don't mean the toys. I'm talking about the actual orphan trains and the whole idea of incubators for kids were coming out in just droves at that time. There's just too much going on. Something's wrong, and I have no idea what it was. So I'm going to get off this before I actually give myself an aneurysm. Let's see. Eric is saying good evening. Let's see. Chris says my great grandfather actually watched the Hindenburg crash. Ooh, Also, my great aunt Dorothy is the girl who danced the Charleston on her. What? No shit. You got more video on that? I wow, your family gets around. They seem to have perfect timing. My timing is, if I didn't have bad timing, I wouldn't have any timing at all. But yeah, for to be able to have people who in those big of events, the closest I had was my uh, brother's godmother was in New York when 9/11 happened. That's as close as I got to that. I was on the other side of the state. Anyways, yeah, that's big, you know. Oh, the humanity with the Hindenburg crash. I don't know what else to say on that. Eric asking, where's number you in the UK? No, Netherlands. He's has mentioned that before. Demon, 5 minutes till I want to cry. Oh yeah, you got to head off to work too, right? Let's see. Lena says, I have no idea what should I do with my heavy 4,500 ton destroyers. I'm waiting to unlock better technology. Okay, here's what I would do. If you need destroyers, you get destroyers. You don't need to fill up your entire battle fleet with stuff you're waiting to refit. You just need enough to cover your basics. Then you just upgrade the next one's coming out. That's all I can say. Let's see. War Sniper says, Sin, do you don't see my message about aircraft carrier GAF7? No, I didn't. Let me see if I can catch you here. Nope, I don't see it. I don't know why it's not here. That's weird. Okay. Leonid says, I'm playing a 10 to 12-year-old game, Vega Conflict. I never played it. I got zero advice to give, period. I don't know. I'm not going to say it. Leonid also says, I do believe the Younger Dryas disaster happened 12,000 years ago. Now, here's the thing about timelines is, especially when people try to do this via any type of carbon dating, they're always wrong. They're always wrong unless they know the exact conditions, the exact compositions, the exact everything of what's going on. They cannot carbon date correctly. They can guess, they can speculate. But the fact of the matter is, originally, when I grew up, they said it takes millions of years before a bone turns into a fossil. That's a line of shit. It takes maybe 2 years in the right conditions to turn a bone into a fossil. That's it. It's so fast. They actually have, and I kid you not, I know I mentioned this before, but they have a beautiful, not only picture, but it's actually in a museum right now. It's a modern cowboy boot with the guy's foot still in it. It's completely fossilized. And the thing was, they know who it came from. They found what was left of the guy. They had DNA to test. They knew when he went missing. It's just nuts. So, yeah, I don't think the Younger Dryas was as far back as people think. I know it happened, but I think their timeline is just off, just severely off. Demon says, I'm related to Elvis Presley on my dad's mom's side and John Wilkes Booth on my dad's side. Oh, there's a good combination. The closest I got is, what was that guy? The original Death Wish character or protagonist there. For some reason, his name escapes me. He was actually born in the same house my dad was. Charles Bronson. That's the name. He actually, yeah. Everybody said the same thing. When he was growing up, he was an asshole. Hey, he's an asshole who became a movie star and super rich, so I don't think he mind. Okay, Douglas says, my dad said during the Battle of the Bulge, he felt the heat of an 88 shell pass by his face when he was driving his Hellcat. I believe the word there is yikes. You don't think of it at the time, but you think about it later and you just start shaking. Okay. Sorry. I hate it when this thing jumps. I don't even notice it anymore. It's just all of a sudden somewhere else. Okay. Demon says, well, it's time for me to go and cry now. I don't want to go to work, but I have to. Have a good night, everybody, and wish you well. Well, have a good night, Demon. Here's to you having a good day at work, if that's possible. Okay, Chris says, my family arrived mid-1500s in Virginia from England. We have fought in every war, back to the French and Indian Wars. Heck, my 4X great uncle. Did that work? Tell me that worked. Are we back up? Somebody tell me. Are we back up? Somebody, hello, McFly. Oh, we are. Okay. Seriously, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know. It just dropped. It just dropped all of a sudden. I feel like a schmuck. That's why I sent the message. I was like, the stream just freaking died all of a sudden. It just, even on my end, it just went out. I don't know what the hell. I'm sitting there going,
congratulations, you played yourself.
You know, somebody's telling me that, and then I'm like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
And then I thought for a second that
it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
I thought I fucked up really bad. I'm sorry about that, guys. I really am. I can't fix the technical when it decides to take a shit like that. That is just wrong. That is just seriously wrong. So, but yeah, it just went blank. I don't know, Demon. It just went out. I wish I knew, guys. I really wish I do. But unfortunately, since that happened, I think that's God's way of telling me I need to shut the fuck up and go away for the night. So I do want to thank everybody who sent in everything. You know, Prozac and Pancakes. We got Sir, Joaquin, Guard, Erica, Joseph, Demon, Guardian, Brian, and Sir. Thank you all so much for this and everybody else for watching. I appreciate you here. I truly, truly do. Sorry about the issues before. I was going to keep going, but like I said, when the universe sends you a message, it's best to listen. So, safety brief before I go. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat his ass. If your little soldier's going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. And be careful on the roads, everybody. The critters are starting to move. Hopefully, we won't have any issues when I'm back next week on Syntax Live. Until then, well, hopefully I can get some sleep tonight so I can say,
Wake me when you need me.
But for right now, I'm going to have one of the ladies here take me out of here. Good night, everybody, because I am